Alright, so I really want to talk about the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. More so the secret ending, not the epilogue. I'll do a video on that later. But we need to really talk about the ending. I beat the game. My thoughts on the game will come later, but I need to talk about this ending because the secret ending combines so many things. At first, I didn't know what to talk about in this video, but I'm gonna talk about what the future of Kingdom Hearts is. And I don't even know if this is going to go to Kingdom Hearts 4 because we already know in between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 we had many other games. And this might be the same, but we might not have it like that because all the games might not just come out on side consoles or like handheld consoles, so it might only be on PS4 and Xbox One now. So maybe we could just expect number titles, actually expect names that have relevance to the series or something like that. But anyway, what I want to talk about is Sora wakes up in Tokyo, but it's not really Tokyo. People who played The World Ends with You know where he is. He's in Shibuya from The World Ends with You because we see the 104 building. And Sora in Dream Drop Distance promise Neku and Joshua and The World Ends with You King that he will meet them in their world. But before I get into that, Riku then wakes up in a place that looks similar to where Sora woke up, but he wakes up in the Verum Rex area. So now the secret ending is combining two games, a fictional one that we saw in Toy Story, and then a real game that's already out there that we saw in Dream Drop Distance, and we know it's The World Ends with You. And then the Verum Rex is also Nomura's way of, because he started working on Final Fantasy Versus 13, which ended up coming out to be Final Fantasy 15, but he was removed from the project. So that's his way to throw salt, because he still probably feels some type of way that he was removed from the project, even though he came up with the planning and art design of Noctis and everything. So Verum Rex is pretty much, this is going to be a long story. Verum Rex is pretty much a version of Final Fantasy 15. So he's trying to like take back his hold on the concept. So Riku is actually Noctis. And then we see a guy with glasses, but that same guy also has a broadsword. So that guy could arguably be known as either Ignis or Gladiolus. And then we see a guy with a fedora hat on, red hair, and shoots guns. So that guy could easily be known as Prompto, Arden, or the fedora, red hair, shoot guns. Well, Prompto or Arden. I don't know where the red hair red hair and the fedora comes in as Arden. Shooting the guns or whatever he was shooting is Prompto, or the way he kind of looks is Prompto. And then Riku just generally represents Noctis, especially with the two eye colors and stuff like that. I don't know if they fully did anything with two eye colors in Final Fantasy 15, but anyway, so this secret ending combines so many things. So I need you to have a full understanding of Dream Drop Distance, where Sora promised the World's End with You gang that he would visit them. That didn't happen in Kingdom Hearts 3, which was a bummer, but we'll get back to that. Then I need you to understand, another thing, it was Luxu that we saw on top of the building that looks like Insomnius in Final Fantasy 15. So that is the Verum Rex world, but it's a version of Final Fantasy 15. But we saw Luxu do something with his hands, but that was him up there. So now we have to take into consideration that somehow, and if it's the Master of Masters, oh my gosh, I don't know where the story is going. But it's either Luxu or Master of Masters. It's most likely Luxu because the epilogue revealed Luxu. And I'll get back to Luxu. Yes, Luxu is currently now Braig, but Braig is not Luxu. Luxu is just controlling Braig. He, like how Xehanort controlled Terra for so long. Luxu is still himself, Luxu, but he just has a new vessel. For those of you who like Naruto, that's pretty much Orochimaru and controlling new vessels and stuff. So Luxu is there, and he's making a heart symbol with his hand against a round moon that has the same color as Kingdom Hearts in this game, I think. So, anyway, now we have those 3 games, Dream Drop Distance, and then we have to talk about Back Cover or Union Cross, because that's where Luxu comes from. And then we have to understand stuff about, in Dream Drop Distance, Sora promised Neku and Joshua that he would meet in Shibuya. And then we have to know what the World Ends With You game is all about. And I got lucky to be able to play The World Ends With You on Switch last year, and I really loved the game. It's a really amazing game. And when I played Dream Drop Distance first, so when Sora promised this, I was like, yes! I want more Square Enix properties to be in Kingdom Hearts, not just Final Fantasy. And I don't want Kingdom Hearts to only be Disney, which Kingdom Hearts 3 turned out to be, but that my irritations with that only being Disney is that's for a different video. But now we know that I wanted that. But before I played The World Ends With You, I was like, yeah, Sora, just go to their world. It's awesome. The game exists. I never played The World Ends With You before, but I did play Dream Drop Distance. However, now that I played The World's End With You, I was like, Sora, how do you wait, why did Joshua is stupid. Why did Joshua even tell Sora visit him? Joshua knows what world he resides in. Neku, he's just another Sora. Neku is just ignorant of everything, so of course Neku would probably accept, yeah, Sora, come visit us. After playing The World Ends With You, spoilers for The World Ends With You, because we need to know what The World Ends With You, the game, actually is. Now, you can leave now. This game is actually a group of kids in Shibuya who's playing a Reaper's game. Me just saying Reaper, you know what a Reaper is. It's someone guiding other people to their afterlife. So all these kids are essentially dead playing this game. Only Neku is originally the one who lost his memory and doesn't really understand what he's doing there. Other people, I think they knew, I forgot, but I really love this story, so I'll play it again and refresh my memory. So, after playing The World's End With You and understanding that it takes place with a whole bunch of dead kids trying to get their second chance at life, I was like, why would Sora ever need to go there? There's no way he could ever go there. And then when it was confirmed that No World Ends With You is in Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, that makes sense. Sora is not dead. And then we get to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. So, about that, Sora died. Okay, so spoilers, yeah, I already told y'all there was going to be spoilers. If y'all didn't know that, then that's your fault. Sora dies at the end of Kingdom, not the end, it's more like the middle. He visits the final world, and that world has an appropriate name, may I mind you, because that world is where people would go before they actually pass on. That's where they would go, like if they have anything else keeping them, chaining them to the human world, they would exist in that world, but without a form until they can pass on happily and stuff like that. That's what the final world was. So people might live in their ignorance in their one world and not know there are any other worlds out there, but they will always end up at the final world. So the name for that world is perfect. Everyone will visit 2 worlds in their lifetime. The world they live in, they're ignorant of any other worlds being out there, and the final world where they have to pass through before they're fully gone. So I love the name of that, and I love that world. It really just makes you feel like that world is actually a good name, and what you do in that world is actually pretty cool. So We know Sora died. We know Kairi is the one who was keeping him in his form so he could gather his form and return to living. And we know all that. So then toward the end, Kairi gets sent. Kairi is just trash. Kairi got destroyed. She got slashed in half. She was one of the lights that clashed with the 13th, the final darkness, which was Xehanort. And he got his final Keyblade. So Kairi pretty much died. And Sora, at the very end, needed, even after defeating Xehanort, Sora at the very end needed to go to save Kairi. He got his power of Awaken, but he's using it foolishly, like young Xehanort said. He's just using it foolishly. You're not supposed to be traversing worlds to chase hearts. It's the other way around. But Sora's using it foolishly. So we know that Kairi is fine now, somewhat, or he's still going after to chase her. But we know that she survived. And Sora did not come back like young Xehanort said he would. He said, there's no saving you. Sora went to save Kairi, used the power foolishly, like young Xehanort said, and he couldn't be saved. Kairi was pretty much saved. That's why she's on the beach and crying, and then Sora disappears in the light. So what is important about that is that transitions perfectly. Let's skip the epilogue now. That transitions perfectly to the secret ending where Sora wakes up in The World Ends With You. And this is perfect because this might end up being a quotation mark side game. Yes, I know it's going to be important to the story, but I'm going to say it like that so we understand what I'm coming from. It might not necessarily be Kingdom Hearts 4. What they're teasing is a new game where Sora is playing the Reaper's game. And what do we know about the Reaper's game? We know that the Reaper's game gotta play the game, and there's only one winner in the Reaper's game, and you get a chance to ask for what you want or to regain your life, to live again. You get that one wish. So Sora has to play the game. Doesn't make sense why Riku is there, but then again, it seems like Riku is in a completely different version of it. So maybe Riku is in the living version of Shibuya from The World's End With You, and Sora woke up in the Reaper's game version, and we know those two versions, the real world and the actual death world, are parallel. And then the Reaper's game is right in the middle of that, like a sandwich. That's where that world exists. So it's kind of like Dream Drop Distance again. But Riku is in the real Tokyo, and in the real Tokyo, that's where Verum Rex exists. So the real world of that version of Tokyo is the Verum Rex world, where fake Noctis is fighting some fight, and Riku might end up having to go help him and stuff, and then discover Sora is with him in that world, but he's in a different parallel version where he's in the Reaper's game. So what I see is Sora went back to the final world that we got to play in Kingdom Hearts 3. And then from there, he went to the Reaper's game. And he's going to have to play this game just like Neku did, just like Shiki did, just like beat Scald. Just like beat Joshua didn't play. Just like beat and Rhyme had to play also. He's going to have to play, and then at the very end, he's going to possibly win, maybe, and get his wish to go back or something like that. Go back to the living world. And then, let's see. Verum Rex now. So I talk about The World Ends With You, explaining what that 1004 building is. Well, 104, 104 building. I talked about the promise Sora made to Neku in Dream Drop Distance, which didn't make sense at the time if you played The World Ends With You, but now it does because Sora is dead. So now he's going to the Reaper's game to essentially try to get his life back. And then, now we gotta know, why is Riku also in the Reaper's game then? But like I said, he's not. In the secret reports in The World Ends With You, we know that they talk about how Joshua's the supreme being there for you all who don't play anyway, which is kind of weird. But we know that the parallel, like the sandwich I talked about, the real world in Shibuya exists as its own parallel, and then you can heighten your energy. I forgot what the energy they use in this. Your imagination, the imagination, I guess. You heighten your imagination, and like angels or whatever composers. I forgot what Joshua is. I gotta replay it. But composers or whatever can heighten their energy to transition between the real world, the Death Reaper's game, or the underworld, or whatever that next world is called. And they're different versions of it and everything. And Joshua even goes beyond that, and he could go to different parallel universes, like where Neku was not in the Reaper game. He wasn't dead, but he was just playing pinwheel, and he was doing all that foolishness. So Riku's in the real version of that, and I guess they added more to that real version. So it's not only the world ends with you in the real version, it's Verum Rex that exists in the real version, the real parallel. I don't know how to explain. The real realm, the living realm in that game. So Riku probably went looking for Sora, and it took him there. But Riku probably doesn't understand that Sora is like dead. He still exists there. Sora will be able to see like living people or something walking around, but he can't interact with them. He'll be able to read their thoughts and stuff like that. And he could control them using that power. I forgot what it's called. Memes? Was it memes? I think it was memes. They called it something weird, and I was like, when did this game come out? And they call that power memes? I don't know. But anyway, he could control people's thoughts and remind them of stuff they wanted to do. That's powers of being like in that Reaper game. You have different powers like that, and your power of imagination is what gives you the powers to use these pins in different powerful ways. And that comes to now back cover Luxu being there on top of the building. Like, we know the Massive Masters just disappeared, and we know after the Keyblade War happened, Luxu then disappeared. Because his role, we know what his role is, by the way, from the epilogue. When they were still asking the foolish questions, what is your role? It said gets me irritated, bro. What is your role? But we know that his role was just to watch. So after the mom disappeared, Master of Masters, by the way, and the Keyblade War happened in the very past, like 100 years ago, before Birth by Sleep, I guess. I don't really know. After that Keyblade War happened, then we know that we know Luxu ended up disappearing because all he had to do was watch the events of the war and just disappear until next time. And he said he had many semblances since then, so he stole body after body after body, and now he went to Brig. And the beginning of, after watching that, I know I wasn't going to talk about the epilogue, but after watching that epilogue, bro, I went back and watched the cutscene of Brig in Olympus. Luxu's acting is so spot on now. Now I see he was like, may your heart be your, and that weird cut happened. That was them telling us he was Luxu. I didn't even think for a second, why is Brig saying may your heart be your guiding key? He doesn't know anything about that. Luxu took his body, bro. That entire game was Luxu. I gotta go back and watch scenes from Kingdom Hearts 2, because I know there was a scene that happened in Kingdom Hearts 2 where Brig was talking to Vexen and other people in the world, the final world ends with you, whatever that world. I forgot what its name. I don't know. I forgot. But where he was talking, but the way they were talking, it showed that that cutscene happened even before Rechain of Memories and D58 over 2 days. So I gotta watch that cutscene again, because maybe Luxu, that was Luxu still. I don't know when. Okay, so I know Luxu was not in control of him when he lost his eye. When Terra? No. Who made him lose his eye? Terra, right? And got that scar? I don't think Luxu was in control of him at that point. But it wouldn't mean anything. Because that body isn't really Luxu, so Luxu wasn't really gonna care. The reveal for Braig was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Just the way he talked when he got revealed as Braig, he was like, well, I go as Braig now. Call me whatever you want. It's up to you. Whatever. That was such a perfect scene. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the secret ending and what that means. And that's also my thoughts on the epilogue. Even though I wasn't going to talk about the epilogue, I probably have my thoughts on the actual game later on. But, thanks for watching. So that's how, like, 1, The World Ends With You, 2, Dream Drop Distance, 3, Back Cover / Union Cross, 4, Final Fantasy 15, all connects into Kingdom Hearts. 4 quotation mark might not be a number title, but anyway, that's how it all connects. That's my take on it. Later.